I'm senior editor and Leigh Bardugo stan Megan Vick, and we're here to talk about Shadow and Bone, the new Netflix series based on her best-selling Grishaverse novels. Whether you're someone who's read all of the books and has a crow tattoo on your person, or you're just someone who's curious about this show that dares to have Ben freaking Barnes in silky black robes for 8 episodes, this is the video you need because we're going to break down everything you need to know about the upcoming series. TV Guide was one of only a handful of outlets that got to be on set while the show was filming on Budapest, so we have a ton of things to tease. As the shirt says, no mourners, no funerals, let's do this. Shadow and Bone is the story of Alina Starkov, who's played by Jessie May Lee in the Netflix series. Alina is an orphan in the war-torn country of Ravka, who discovers that she has a hidden power that may be the key to destroying an ominous void known as the Shadow Fold. Alina discovers that she has the power to summon the sun during a particularly treacherous trek across the fold when she saves her best friend and lifelong love, Mal. After her powers are discovered, she's taken under the wing of General Kerrigan, aka Ben Barnes, aka the Darkling. The Darkling leads the Second Army, which is made up of people called Grisha, who can control the elements on a molecular level, which they call the small science. He's also called the Darkling because he's the most powerful living Grisha, and he has the power to summon shadows like his ancestor who created the Fold in the first place. The Darkling hopes that he and Alina can use their powers together to destroy the Fold and bring Ravka back to prosperity. And obviously, working together to bring down the Fold causes some sexual tension to happen between Alina and the Darkling. It's definitely a thing in the books and will remain a thing in the series, but Jessie May Lee explained to us during our set visit in Budapest that she and the producers decided to make some changes to make sure that the dynamic between Alina and the Darkling felt more 2021. Jessie explained that in the books, the dynamic between Alina and the Darkling can be kind of problematic because he's her mentor and it's a little bit weird. So she and the producers and Ben Barnes worked really hard to make sure that consent was at the center of the story and that everything that happened between Alina and the Darkling was something that she also wanted. Alina is torn between Mal, her best friend and the boy she has loved for most of her life, and the Darkling, who is a shepherd into a world that she's never known before, and it's intoxicating. I mean, you've seen Ben Barnes, right? Well, we also talked to him about Alina's romantic situation, and we have to warn you. We think he's a Melina shipper.
Is this true?
Ben spoke a lot about how Mal was the better man for her, and Mal was actually a badass and totally there for her for the right reasons, where the Darkling may have some questionable motives about how he wants to destroy the Fold. But of course, these characters aren't the only ones who are going through it. Now we're on the next section. It's Six of Crows. Shadow and Bone is not just an adaptation of the first book in the Grishaverse novels. It also combines the story from Six of Crows, which is a sequel story that happens after the events of the main trilogy. We're going to get the prequel backstory of what happens to the thieves in Six of Crows. So we're going to see Kazbrecker, Jesper, Inej, Nina, and Matthias within this series and find out what was happening to them before the events of Six of Crows. I sat down with Freddie Carter, Kit Young, and Amita Simon to talk about where we meet the Six of Crows characters in the series and what we can find out about them at this early stage in their lives.
There are certain things that have come and gone from the books, but actually, the essence of where we're heading, I think for all of us was the most exciting thing, kind of plotting that journey and tracing it backwards, which is sort of reverse order of what we normally do.
Who these characters are is so well defined in the books right from when you meet them. There are certain character traits that we need to all get right to really kind of get these characters. But at the same time, we don't want to be 100% who you meet at the beginning of Six of Crows because you want to discover some of those things for the first time within the show. But I think we also get the chance to make up some of these things that will become givens in the Six of Crows story.
While Kaz and Jesper are less professional hoodlums in Shadow and Bones than the versions of them we meet in the book, Inej is a much more fledgling version of the acrobatic killer we come to know in Bardugo's novels. In the Netflix version, we meet Inej when she's only been working with Kaz for a few months and she's still under contract at a brothel known as the Menagerie.
She hasn't been out of the Menagerie for a long time. And she's still figuring out her goals and her aims and figuring out what all three of us are capable of and what we're capable of as a group. I wouldn't say that she's a stone cold killer. I don't think she enjoys it at all, but I think she's learning just what it takes to survive in the barrel.
Aside from the Six of Crows trio, Shadow and Bone will also feature Nina Zenik, a powerful Grisha who gets mixed up with a Druskeli, fancy word for Grisha hunter, named Matthias Helvar. He is also super hot. Shadow and Bone will explore the backstory of those two characters that was revealed in the Six of Crows novels. And if you're sensing that there's an enemies to lovers trope getting ready to happen here, well, good for you, because you're picking up what I'm putting down. It's time to take a deep breath. We've thrown so much information at you, and that can be overwhelming. I think it's time that we brought in some visual aids to help you really see the world. Let's go to the map. This is what the world of the Grishaverse looks like on paper. Our Six of Crows characters are from Kerch. More specifically, Ketterdam, which is the gambling capital of the world. A lot of people come to visit, but you have to be pretty ruthless to actually survive living there. The majority of the show takes place in Ravka. So why does Alina need so much training to deal with the folds? Is it really just darkness? No. There are terrifying, flesh-eating creatures known as Volcra that live in the fold and will eat anyone and anything that they hear moving in their presence. Sounds like a nightmare Ravkin should just go around, right? Afraid not, my friends. As you can see, the fold runs from north to south across the entire country. If you head north, you'd have to go to Fierda to go around the fold. Fierda is where Matthias and Druskeli, you remember our Grisha hunter friends, are located. Fierdans are kind of like Vikings who think that Grisha are witches and that they need to be exterminated. A super fun group that Ravkins absolutely do not want to hang out with, especially since the two countries are at war. Let's try the south. It sounds warmer. Oh wait, got a problem there too. The Shuhan don't think that Grishas are witches, but they still don't trust them. They have a really bad habit of kidnapping Grisha and performing experiments and autopsies on them. Ravka is also at war with Shuhan.
No pressure.
You may be wondering why everyone is freaking out about Grisha, especially a sun summoner. If all she can do is summon sunbeams, shouldn't we all just get some SPF 50 and chill out because it's not that serious? But it is, because Grisha are extremely powerful and have a wide range of talents. We're gonna break them all down for you right now. We'll start with Corporalki, the most deadly of the Grisha. They wear red keftas, and keftas are robes that are specifically designed to help you signify that someone is a Grisha. There are two different types of Corporalki. Heartrenders can control heartbeats. Our girl Nina is a very talented heartrender and thus the most terrifying to the Druskeli order. The other type of Corporalki are healers. They use their powers to heal wounds and bullet holes, so you can never tell that a person was even injured. You definitely want them on your team. Genya is Alina's best friend at the Little Palace, which is where Alina is taken to train once she's discovered as a sun summoner. And while Genya is technically a healer, her talents are most specific to making people look better. She makes people look better. Genya is a human Instagram filter, but she wears white because she's a servant at the palace. Our next big group of Grisha are Etherealki. These are your weather controllers and they wear blue. Alina falls in this group because she harnesses the power of the sun. There are also Squallers, who are Grisha who can control the wind, and Fernie, who harness fire, and Tidemakers, who can control water. Materialki are the engineers and chemists of the Grisha. They wear purple. Jurists manipulate solid matter like metal and glass. Alchemy are Materialki who specialize in chemical manipulation, so they make bombs and other blasting powders for General Kerrigan and his second army. It's time to talk about the surprises that are coming, even for the book readers who think they know what's happening. One of the most exciting things about combining Six of Crows and embedding those characters into Alina's story is that characters who never interacted in the novel series are now going to see each other in the show. Showrunner Eric Heiserer teased one specific showdown that we have to share with y'all. He actually brought up the idea of having Kaz Brekker face off with the Darkling and compared it to Batman versus Superman. And then he mentioned, wouldn't it be cool if Inej met Alina and we found out why she named one of her future knives after her? He then immediately said that he couldn't confirm that any of those scenes were going to happen in this series, but he brought them up, so now we need them, and we totally expect them to be there. Even though imagining those mashups can be fun, we also have to acknowledge that there is one important Six of Crows character who's not going to be in Shadow and Bone, Wylan Van Eck. Wylan is a chemist who assists Kaz and the crew during their heist in Six of Crows. But because he's new to the crew in Six of Crows, it's way too early to introduce him in Shadow and Bone. But just because Wylan isn't there doesn't mean that we're going to miss out on Jesper being a flirt. Praise the saints.
We're meeting a Jesper who is not all that focused. He sees things and is distracted by them. All of his temptations, whether that's gambling or whether that's someone that he finds attractive. But we do definitely get a couple of juicy moments when it comes to Jesper and romance.
What else could you possibly need after that? This show injected into your veins immediately? I mean, I totally feel you on that. Luckily, you don't have long to wait. Shadow and Bone hits Netflix on Friday, April 23rd. If you're still nervous and don't have all the terminology, or you want more of a refresher of what's going on, you can check out the TV Guide Grishaverse Encyclopedia in the description below. And after you've seen the show, make sure you return back here to the TV Guide YouTube channel, because we'll be breaking down the big moments, answering burning questions, and starting the campaign for season 2, like immediately. Please subscribe to our channel and check out more of our cool videos. I'm Megan Vick. See you later.